Fox News alert, Turkey's military could invade Syria at any moment. This comes amid criticism from both sides of the aisle for the Trump administration after announcing U.S. troops could be removed from the region. President Trump tweeting this morning that, quote, fighting between various groups that has been going on for hundreds of years. USA should never have been in the Middle East. Move out 50 soldiers out. Turkey must take over captured ISIS fighters that Europe refused to return. The stupid, endless wars for us are ending. Here to react, a member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, your reaction to that tweet?
Yeah, that's a pre-9/11 mentality that the Mideast is no concern to us. I'll say what I said to President Obama. I hope President Trump's right. I hope we can turn the fight against ISIS over to Turkey. I hope that Turkey, when they go into Syria, they won't slaughter the Kurds. And I will say this to the president. It would be hard to protect America without allies over there. And the Kurds have been good allies. And when Turkey goes into Syria, they're not going in to fight ISIS. They're going in to kill the Kurds because in their eyes, they're more of a threat to Turkey than ISIS. So I hope he's right. I don't think so. I know that every military person has told him, don't do this. And this is the pre-9/11 mentality that paved the way for 9/11. What's happening in Afghanistan is no concern to us. So if he follows through with this, it'd be the biggest mistake of his presidency. I would argue for him to go back to the status quo. These safe zones were working, patrolling with Turkey and international forces to protect the Kurds and Turkey is the way to go. If we pull out, the Kurds are in a world of hurt and ISIS comes back and President Trump will own it.
General Rand Paul was pleased. That's about it. But Senator, let's talk about. Can you actually
say?
This
is Obama. This is not Rand Paul. This is Obama. Obama did the same thing in Iraq. He was told we can't leave yet. We can reduce our forces. And here's what breaks my heart: the Trump way of doing business worked. We destroyed ISIS with the help of the Kurds. American air power with 60,000 ground troops provided by people in the region works. We did this with a couple thousand Americans. We can't abandon the Kurds now. We can't turn it over to Turkey. To think that will work is really delusional and dangerous.
Don't say you're a friend of Israel and allow them to be surrounded by Iran, because that's exactly what's going to happen. The bridge, Iraq, you now have Syria, and now they're going to hold a whole area, and now they are going to be Israel's going to be totally encircled. And you can't say you're tough on Iran and allow this to happen, because they're going to benefit the most. And number three is you might as well take out of your speech that you defeated the caliphate, because it's coming right back.
Yeah, well, it's a lie that that ISIS has been defeated. The caliphate's been destroyed, but it will reemerge. You know, the Kurds can't fight Turkey and control ISIS at the same time. There's 2,000 foreign fighters, and he's right, President Trump. The Europeans should help us more. 10,000 are Syrian ISIS fighters. There's 60,000 people in a camp, a lot of ISIS brides that are more dangerous than their husbands. So everybody is telling him this won't work, but he's doing it anyway, just like Obama. And Erdogan is not our friend, and Congress will push back. We're not giving Turkey a green light in Congress, and we're not going to abandon the Kurds. If the president does so, we won't.
All right, you are giving a green light to Rudy Giuliani. Yesterday you said you want him to come and speak to you at the Judiciary Committee on the Senate side. How can you update this story?
Well, I talked to Rudy yesterday. He's claiming to have a lot of evidence about corruption in the Ukraine that ties back to the Democrats. That's apart from what the House is looking at. The House could care less about fairness. Schiff is not looking for the truth. I think Rudy's got a story to tell. I want him to tell it in my committee. He'll be respectfully treated. This is a star chamber process in the House behind closed doors. They should be an inquiry to a vote on impeachment. You have to have a vote to make it legitimate. And at the end of the day, I am going to shed light on all things Ukraine. And I'm going to ask my colleagues in the Senate, Republicans, to sign a letter to Nancy Pelosi saying we do not believe the transcript of the phone call between the president and the Ukraine is an impeachable offense. They're about to destroy the nation for no good reason. I've read the transcript. I do not see anything wrong there, and I want Nancy Pelosi to know that Republican senators are not going to impeach this president based on this transcript, so she can stop now before she destroys the country.
All right, Senator Lindsey Graham, I appreciate your time. You're at the forefront of almost every major issue in the country right now. Thanks so much.
Pray for the Kurds. One last thing. I talked to Franklin Graham. We need a day of prayer for the Kurds and the Christians that are going to be in harm's way. Pat Roberts, the evangelical Christian community has been great. Our Kurdish friends deserve our prayers and our support, so pray for the Kurds.
And for those people that have never met the Kurds, they're all over. There's great communities all over Nashville, especially Tennessee, especially. And for those of you who want to know what they sacrificed, how about 10,000 people have lost their lives? Senator, thanks so much.
Yeah. And to those who believe that radical Islam is not going to fight you because we leave, you got another thing coming. You may be tired of fighting them over there, but they're not tired of fighting you here.
I know. It goes all the way back to Jefferson, and I wrote about it. Meanwhile, thanks so much, Senator.